Do you remember writing in your diary that freedom is the freedom to say 2 and 2 make 4?
Yes.
How many fingers am I holding up, Winston?
4.
And if the party says it is not 4 but 5, then
4.
180. How many? 190. How many fingers, Winston?
4. 5. 4. Anything you like. Only stop the pain. Stop.
Involuntary. Done contrary to or without choice. Involuntary.
Immigrant.
Done contrary
Definition
to
1.
or without choice.
Person who immigrates.
Involuntary.
Immigrant.
Done contrary
Definition
to
1.
involuntary.
Person who comes
Done contrary to or without choice. Done contrary to or without choice. Done contrary to or without choice.
Definition 1. Immigrant. Definition 1. Person who established. Unknown. Unknown. Established.
Trying to free your mind.
What white people have to do is try to find out in their own hearts why it was necessary to have a nigger in the first place. But if you think I'm a nigger, it means you need it. The question you gotta ask yourself, the white population of this country's gotta ask itself. North and South, because it's one country, and for a Negro, there's no difference between North and the South. There's just, a difference in the way they castrate you.
Who taught you to hate yourself?
Involuntary. Done contrary to or without choice.
Immigrant. Definition 1. A person who immigrates. Definition 2. A plant or animal that becomes established where it was previously unknown.
Hey, this is Mango the Goat. This is another mental liberation moment, and this is the IIP. IIP stands for Involuntary Immigrants Podcast. Yeah, I'm gonna touch on something. I don't really touch on a lot. I don't like talking about shit I don't understand, right? But I have to talk about this, and this is a transgender movement, or whatever the fuck you want to call it. Now, I personally don't give a fuck what you do with your body. I don't care what you do with your body. I don't care what you do with your mind and this and that. I wish everybody the best. But the topic I'm talking about today is not too much a transgender issue. It's the baby issue, right? So you got these motherfucking people and these parents, and they injecting their babies with hormones because their babies say they're the other gender, right? And personally, I don't give a shit outside of my community. The reason I'm doing this on IIP is because I don't want us to fall into this hype, right? Because me personally, I look at all transgenderism as insanity. Not because they transgendered, but I look at every aspect of life where you're not rooted into your core as insanity. You're not rooted in your own reality. Because how I look at it is, yeah, I'm a this trapped in a this body. And it's like, well, your body is what walks the earth. So motherfucker, that's you. That's how I look at it. Now, a lot of people, feel some type of way, but the truth is your frontal lobe don't develop till what, 25, 26, right? So everything before 25 is a sponge. Like you're learning everything around you. The question I would ask is, if a 5-year-old tells you, okay, I'm born a boy, but I feel like a girl, how do you know the difference between the two? If none of that shit matters, how do you know the difference between the two? Now, I do believe some motherfuckers is just insane. Insanity. The issue I have, though, is the parents that buy into it, right? Because if your kid tell you, hey, I want to drive the car on I-95, on I-75, on I-20, or some fucking major highway, as a parent, it's your fucking duty to say, fuck no. Fuck no. And then this is the consequences of those actions. right? It's your duty as a parent to do that. So society is so fucked right now where you shame parents for saying fuck no. If a kid says, hey, I want to become a girl. Oh, if you tell that kid fuck no, you're a piece of shit parent. This is where society is, y'all. Think about this shit. We live in a society where you have parents giving their kids hormones to change their gender. And that's okay. Good for them. But we also live in a society where a black man like Kanye West is doing everything he deems in his power to do what's best for what he calls his family. Oh, that motherfucker's crazy. Think about that shit. He's doing everything in his power to, I don't want my kids around this person. I want my kids he's trying to be active. Oh, he's fucking crazy. He's bipolar. He's insane. We are in a piece of shit society right now. And the reason why this is important for me to speak on is because a lot of times the Negro copies and imitate the fucking white people and their culture. And we have two different cultures, right? For all of these years, right? We have been, I don't like the word homophobic because we ain't been scared of gays, but we have been anti-homosexual for the majority of the culture. And we still had gays and this and that. Everybody got a gay cousin. Everybody got a gay maybe brother, sister, or some shit like that. And we're cool with them and this and that. But this transgenderism is a whole different ball game, right? Because in my opinion, transgenderism is someone who doesn't love themselves the way they were born. That's why it's worrisome to me. You don't love what you are. You want to be something else. And a lot of times people, when they're talking about the transgenderism, it's like, I connect this way. I such and such this way. Yeah, I'm born here. I'm born as a man or I'm born as a woman, but I identify with this and that and that and that and that. That's trickery on words. It's not that you identify. To tell the truth, it's what you want to be. Because if you identify, you don't need drugs. You don't need drugs to turn you into that. It's what you want to be. I think people will respect the movement more if you say, okay, I was born a man, but I want to be a woman. I was born a woman, but I want to be a man. That makes a whole fucking difference in your speech, in your movement, in your everything you're talking about. At the end of the day, it don't mean shit to me when we talking about babies. Because I believe a baby comes in the world on a fucking blank sheet of paper. They not gay. They not straight. They not transsexual. They not thee, them, their, her, he, she, it, zer, none of that shit. It's a fucking baby. It's a fucking baby. And, based on that baby's genitals or whatever, that baby's gonna, move on to the next steps of life. We're in this society now where people are like, the genitals don't matter. The genitals do fucking matter. The baby's sex does fucking matter. Because if, I tell y'all a story. I didn't raise my kids up, my daughters, I didn't raise them up knowing about like dick or nothing. Cause I started with 2 girls and they pretty much thought everybody had the same body parts, right? Like in my crib, I don't walk around in my boxers and no shit like that. My daughter's never seen me change or nothing like that, right? I basically protected my daughters from seeing any kind of dick, right? Well, one day my youngest daughter's in class in public school and this little boy pull his dick out and starts like scratching his fucking uncircumcised pee hole. And it freaked my daughter out because daddy never taught her about dick and pussy and none of that shit. She thought everybody had the same part. So when this boy pulls his dick out and starts scratching his dick head And she's basically thinking like, man, something's wrong with that motherfucker Tucci Tucci. You know, freaked her out. And I go to pick my daughter up from school. And when I pick her up, she has this look of shock and disgust and all kind of shit on her face. And she don't say nothing. Then we get in the car. I say, hey, what's wrong? She says, Daddy, the boy in school, he pulled out his Tucci Tucci and it was weird looking. And he started scratching his Tucci Tucci, took his finger in it and started scratching him. And I told the teacher and this and that. So kids only know what the fuck you teach them, right? So to all parents who are giving their kids hormones and all of this other bullshit to try to change their gender, if your kid feel like it's a different gender, it's your fault. Straight up, it's your fucking fault, right? Ain't no way around it, because kids at that age, they know what you teach them. They know what you let them learn. If you don't tell a kid the difference between boy or girl, like for my story, I never taught my daughter what a dick was at her young age. You know, she knew her Tucci Tucci and this and that because, you know, I promote her learning how to clean herself, how to do this and that at a young age. You know, you wipe, you know, front to back, baby. You know, you do stuff like that. I'm teaching her how to do herself, and her mom teaches her too, right? But I never introduced them to the story of dick, and they didn't have no brothers at the time, so they never see a dick. So the first time they see a dick, it spasms them out. So kids only know, these babies only fucking know what you allow in their infrastructure. So if you got a kid and your kid saying, hey, I think I'm a girl, but really he's a boy, it's your fault. Most of the time I see these parents on the internet and they're I'm going to raise a non-binary child. You putting that shit on your babies. You putting that shit on them. If your boy is a boy, tell him he's a fucking boy and raise him as a fucking boy. Y'all are trying to be social justice warriors with your babies. You're living vicariously through your babies. It's in my mindset that everybody who has these transgender babies, somewhat like in the back of their mind, wanted to be transgender themselves. So they're living vicariously through their children. Period. And the people you see that are anti this movement, they are somewhat anti the fucking movement. It's hard to explain because, like I said, it's unfamiliar to me. But the one thing that's passionate to me is leave these fucking babies alone. If your baby grows up and turns 15 and decides, hey, I really feel like I want to be it's a difference when you say, I want to be it's not like, I know I'm but I'm born wrong. That's where the depression comes in. Because, okay, you know you're a woman, but you're born in a man's body. You're never going to be able to change that man's body. You could take hormones, you could do blah, blah, blah. You're going to need a substance to change. Because that's not your natural state. We are okay in this new society and telling people, hey, your mind is absolutely right. Your body's wrong. The body don't learn. The mind learns. So the body can adapt mislearned behavior. The body can't. The body's going to do what the mind tells it. So for you to fall into a depressive state, you force yourself into a depressive state. That's what it is. You're forcing it. And a lot of that shit comes from the parents. So like, if you're unhappy about your child's blah, 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 you probably did a bad fucking job. You probably did a terrible, shitty fucking job as a parent. You know, just being real with you. But the one thing I'm talking to, and I'm talking to Negro people, don't fall into this new fucking hype that society is telling you it's okay. Because I'm telling you, society's fucked up. Don't be fucked up with it. I got to go now. Thanks for listening. One time for you, one love to the families and everything. Y'all stay safe. And one time for the Mangaloids.
Involuntary. Done contrary to or without choice. Immigrant. Definition 1. A person who immigrates. Definition 2. A plant or animal that becomes established where it was previously unknown.